Welcome back. No means nerds, no means no nicks, no means nothings, no means nobodies. To the no means no thing, no means nothing podcast. The podcast where three real fucking morons just do their best to try to find the greatest no means no song of all time. I mean, spoilers, there isn't one. We know that. My name is Jordan, one of your hosts.
Howdy, I'm Matthew.
Hi there, I'm Michelle.
Introductions are definitely in order, and I'm glad we did them because you probably don't remember who we are. It's been so long.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go through the usual rigmarole of apologies and all that. It's been like 7 in a row. We've been late, so you know the drill. Here we are. We're back for now, and I'm going to just go ahead and say a lot of tiredness going on. I'm tired. I'm hot. Matthew, I know you're not at your level best.
I am not.
Yeah. But we didn't want to put this off any longer. We thought, let's just try.
What about my problems? You didn't ask me what.
No one cares about Michelle.
Wrong?
Michelle,
okay.
what's happening with you, Michelle?
My friends ignore me.
That's a problem. Let's talk to them. I want to talk to them.
No, I'm fine. I'm all right. Squeaking by.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But here we are. It's a nice little reprieve to talk about this band for, 15 minutes, however long it takes us to vote these songs through. So I guess, if I remember correctly, what we do in the show is we have a little segment called What Are You Drinking? And me, I've got a Pepsi for caffeine, which I hardly ever drink.
Did your mom give that to you?
What the fuck was that? Oh, sorry. It's that my whole desk just shook. I was wondering what was going on. My wife just tripped over my Ethernet cable outside the room. That's what happened.
Oh shit!
Wasn't an earthquake. It was my wife. But I also have a little bit of this whiskey, which clearly I need a little more of. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. Michelle, what have you? What are your libations? Oh baby, you know I love it.
Oh my god!
Wife's
I
outside.
even ran over this. Your wife's outside.
My wife's right outside the door. Fuck. Oh.
I can't make sex noises.
Oh. It's been a long time, baby. Look at that.
What are you doing in there, honey?
Oh, she knows.
Right.
And Matthew,
I see the Kleenex box. I know.
Oh, gross. Matthew, how about you tonight? On a night when you're not feeling super great,
Yeah.
what have you chosen to keep you comfort?
I actually, because I had some technical difficulties, I got myself a finger of bourbon. But what I actually needed to wind that down a little bit. I have this stuff called Milkis.
Milkis!
Come on,
an interesting pedigree. It is a Korean beverage, which...
Milkis?
Okay, we're going to need to let me talk about it rather than reacting to things and names.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So the flavor comes from lactobacillus. I guess the original, it's based on a Japanese beverage called Kawapiko, and I looked it up and it's actually got quite a pedigree. So the original guy who made it over 100 years ago traveled to Manchuria, and there is a fermented mare or donkey's milk beverage there called kumis, and he liked that. He named the original stuff Karopik over after Sarpur-manda, which is the Buddhist text describe 5 stages of milk as an analogy to stages of purification of the spirit. So it is in Sanskrit. Sarpur-manda is like the most godly pinnacle flavor, kind of like I guess ambrosia would be in Europe. It tastes I guess it's just like tastes like if you made like vanilla yogurt into a soft drink.
Oh, I'd have that.
It's super tasty.
I'd have some of that.
Yeah.
You drink it chilled, or is that?
It's just like pop, but it's not super duper sweet.
So it's
actually kind
of
tart. No, not at all.
Okay.
No, the milk aspect comes from I think the fact that they use like lactobacillus, the same bacteria that they use for fermenting kefir and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Very tasty.
Milkis.
I recommend it.
Milkis.
And it comes in all sorts of fruit flavors, but this one is just yogurt flavor, is what it says.
Just for the record, coming on to the podcast tonight when absolutely fairly, we can't interrupt you because it's everyone's a little bit on edge tonight. You
Yeah.
can't fucking introduce a drink called Milkis. That is like putting us at a handicap. That's just not fair. Totally not fair. I love that. I want some of that shit.
It's kind of a
Milkis.
crab gate in a way,
Milkis.
if
No,
you think about it.
I love that.
Kind of
Now,
just what happened.
And it did not go where I expected it to go. The whole fact that it's like a fucking Buddhist Sanskrit ambrosia. How did you even hear about this shit? Where did this come across your radar?
In Japan, it's like super popular. CALPIS. Calpis is the name in Japan, and they changed it in North America because of the reaction that Michelle is currently having. So it actually says Calpico is the Japanese version. This stuff is very, very similar. I'm sure it's almost the same thing. It's just the Korean version of it. But in North America, they call it Calpico, even though the Japanese still says Calpis.
Well, if you like your Milkis, don't let your Calpis. My goodness. That's amazing.
I bet Rob would drink that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd drink it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, you'd like it. It's pretty hard not to
like. I think it sounds pretty
Probably be good with vodka in it also.
Oh, I bet. Actually.
And yeah, a little finger of Maker's Mark.
Little finger of Maker's Mark. Nice, yeah. Here's to the brown liquor.
Wow, look at you two.
All right, everybody. Well, toast your glass if you have it. If you don't, rush to rewind the podcast and get one. Pause it right now. Give yourself a little toast. If you're walking Teddy, make sure you've got some sort of like a coffee if it's the morning. Some of you listen to this in the morning. If you got coffee on your way to work, drinking your beverage, what are your energy drinks, some god-awful thing in a
Teddy
can
has a
with
bully stick.
Yeah, he's got a bully stick in there.
Yeah,
fucking
a bully stick.
If you're, whatever you're doing, raise your glass high, not to us, but to this band, because as always, best band of all time, kind of undisputed, at least in my opinion.
Can I?
You know what we got to do?
What we got to make a toast.
Yeah, we're recording 2 days after.
Yeah,
100%. Thank you.
Steve Albini passed very, very early. I have a feeling he was pretty clean liver by all indications, even though he's a bit of a curmudgeon. But he just had a heart attack. He's only 61.
Yeah.
So I went through his. Just his own stuff was amazing. But then looking through all the albums that he had shit to do with, I know some of the big ones. Everybody knows in Utero, but also like A Shadowy Man on a Shadowy Planet album, and like BJ Harvey, this Kiwi band that I really like called Die Die Die. He just said his fingers.
Surfer Rosa, don't forget
Slint,
Surfer Rosa.
Yeah, but
Jesus
like a lot
Christ.
of more obscure stuff as well.
Right.
He had just an incredible effect on so much stuff that I like, and so much stuff that I don't know. I went for a walk the other day and I was listening to Big Black, who I really, really liked back in the day. I've only sort of recently kind of circle back to Shellac, which
Shellac,
is incredible. But Big Black, I don't think there's any way, like listening to Atomizer, that Andy was not listening to it or was not aware of it. He either was influenced by it or Big Black was influenced by the same shit that Andy was listening to. Because I don't think there is so much in common with Sex Man. Especially like the guitar playing and the noises and everything like that.
Yep, Gang of Four stuff.
Well,
anyway, just like I don't get that upset by kind of celebrity passing and stuff, but this one fucking sucks.
Yeah,
really
he had
sucks,
a lot
man.
more work in him. I know some listeners out there were planning to go see Shellac. They were just about to tour their new album.
That's right. They got a new album being released Tuesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they were going to tour with a couple other shit.
So
that's too young, man.
It's too young.
To
Cheers
Steve
to
Albini.
man. What a fucking presence.
Yeah.
Like you said, his reach was wide and deep.
And with ethics.
Right.
Total like erasure of ego. I mean, he had his ego in that he kept stuck to his principles and everything like that. But I mean, stuff like he wouldn't take royalties because he thought it was unethical.
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah, put his money where his fucking mouth is, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
100% lived his ethics, didn't just state them.
Yeah, very humble.
So I hope he has found his way back to the Big Black.
Yep. Well said, and thank you for having us do that, man.
Yes,
it's
nice
necessary.
toast, Matthew. Thank you. Jesus.
All right. Well, let's honor him by diving into some fucking music and talking about some pretty great songs. The irony always with this podcast is the longer that we wait to do this, the less prepared I am. I've listened to these songs a bazillion times, but my notes are sorely lacking. But it is what it is. This will be an episode of some sort.
Yeah,
so
it might be a bit of a low energy episode. I just am still recovering from COVID.
Exactly.
Don't get COVID. Don't take COVID lightly, guys. It sucks still. Yeah.
Is this your second time, Matthew? I forgot.
Second
or first?
time, yeah.
Oh, second time. Oh man. Fuck.
I'll say this: if you have this ability somewhere, if you get COVID, which I don't want you to, I hope you don't, and you're over 50, and let's face it, many of us are who are listening to this podcast. See if they'll give you ivermectin. That shit. No, is that what it was? Yeah.
No. I think that's the horse.
No, not ivermectin. No, that's me being Alex Jones. What the fuck was it called? Fuck. Anyway, never mind. There's some shit they can give you that's real, like the good shit, not ivermectin. Don't take that unless you're a horse.
Or don't inject bleach into your veins either.
Anyway, let's not worry about it. Let's just don't get COVID. Just be careful, folks.
Really, don't. If you don't want it, and the more you push through it, the worse it gets. And,
unless you're Donald Trump, go ahead and get COVID.
Remdesivir? No, that's not it.
Paxlovid, that's the shit. That shit cut my shit down to like a day and a half. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that anymore. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about music.
Yeah.
So our first matchup.
Social responsibility.
Our first matchup, 2 songs. Fuck. Our first matchup is Victory off of Small Parts, Isolated and Destroyed, 1998. And it's also on Live and Cuddly, 1991. And Victory won out against Victoria in episode 24. That was a unanimous vote. I would stand behind that vote, but that was one of my favorite matchups because of the irony of it. Victor Victoria, which I think that was one of my favorite covers too, where you did a little bit of the old Victor Victoria for us, Matthew.
Yeah.
And it is going up against Land of the Living off of Why Do They Call Me Mr. Happy, 1993. Now, Land of the Living is a people's choice. It lost against Stop It in episode 17, which was a unanimous vote. We all voted for it. And I think I would do the same thing. Yeah. I stand behind that vote, even though that was tough for me. It's not an easy one.
I didn't vote for Stop It.
No, you did. We all did. We all voted for Stop It.
All right,
and Land of the Living lost.
Okay. Yeah.
But it got brought back.
All right.
So it gets another chance. And it got a hard pull, man. It's up against one of the most beloved songs of all time for No Means No. So in any event, we're going to pause for a moment and we are going to let Victory relish in its victory. I don't have the energy for a metaphor. So here you go. Just let's do a couple of these bits here.
What about you? Could you mean something to me? I've got a question to ask you, and then you can ask it of me. It's a simple request, and then you can make it of me. Can you forgive me? Can you forgive me? Can you forgive me? Can you see what will be? There's a I've seen, and I can't make you feel anything. So someday I know, no matter how hard we try, we're all gonna have to lay down and die. So maybe I should just tell you what I hope and believe. For every defeat, there will be a victory. For every defeat, there will be a victory. In defeat, victory.
There are those who are silent, yet who talk all of the time. Their faces never really show the way their quiet footsteps go. If you wanna walk, just get up on your feet. And if you wanna talk, just open up your mouth and speak. What is the ugly secret that you cherish in your heart? The truth that you can't stand. That drives you from the land of the living, of the living, of the living, the land of the living.
All right. So, what the fuck do you say about these songs? So, first of all, I'm not. In this round, I'm not going to be diving as deeply into lyrics as I did in round one. I kind of went back into some of my notes for all these. I always do, and I mean, I talked the shit out of these songs. I already went super deep, so I'm probably not going to do that again. Comparing these songs, these are very different, clearly different eras, right? One's Andy, one's Mr. Happy. So, and I don't think Land of the Living bears any of the DNA. It doesn't feel like to me of a song that was brought forward from the Andy era, unlike I Need You or Cat Sets and Nazis. Like I can't say it, Cats, Sex and Nazis. This feels like a very much a song that was created post Andy. So Victory is, I mean, it's iconic. This is many people's favorite song. It's one of their more cathartic masterpieces. It's certainly a masterpiece. I think I mentioned this last time I did it. I love the live and cuddly, super fast count in that John gives. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
It's like, oh, fucking. And there's some guy in the background, faster. It's like, yep, I get it.
No, go fuck yourself.
I do love the fact that it is faster live. They always played Victory faster by like a quarter when they played it live than it is on the recording. It's
nothing like Dark Ages though.
Not as fast as Dark Ages. Yeah, Dark Ages is like twice speed. Victory wouldn't work at twice speed. It still needs to have that pacing. It needs to have a thoughtful pacing. And I mean, this is a pinnacle of how No Means No can have a overwhelmingly pessimistic, dark song that is not dark and pessimistic, that actually has a root in being so honest about the shit that we face at so many points in our life, and especially with that backward glance that we have at any moment where we really take stock taking at the shit that we've done, who we've been, the piece of shit that we are. And yet in that honesty, allow us to move forward with an authenticity that maybe can help us move beyond that and integrate it and become a better fucking person and really connect with people. But that can only come from that sort of really authentic look at what we've done, at what's been done to us, and at where we are and where we've been. And that's what I feel about Victory. I feel like this is a song that could hit you at many ages in your life, when you're young, when you're middle-aged, when you're fucking old, and it's going to hit a little differently, but it's always about that moment of really honestly taking stock of where one is and looking at the past and in all of the shit that's happened. I think even Rob had talked about how this was a really dark song, and it is, but it's not. Like, people get so
Right.
cathartic. Right? There's so much catharsis in this song. And that the part where he, and what about you? Could you be a friend to me? Can you forgive me? Like, all of that stuff is so direct and plaintive and real about the need to connect in the midst of realizing that you've alienated everybody. Right? But I still really want to fucking connect with another person. And just the fact that it ends with, in every defeat, there will be a victory. That, without that, the song still is cathartic, but it doesn't have the button in a way that gives you permission to fucking dive into this full catharsis. And even in the sense of the way that the guitar resolves upward at the end there, right? It's not going do do do. It's do do do. Like Andy's coming up in the guitar at the end there on those choruses. So everything is switched and is lifting up.
I know what you're talking
right?
about. Yep.
Everything about it gives you that sense of, okay, now that you've really looked at where you are and you've seen the shit you've done and how fucked up everything is, in every defeat, there will be a victory. And it doesn't say that's going to happen. He just says, this is what I hope and believe. It's a matter of hope. You have to have hope that shit can change. So it's not a guarantee of anything, right? I'll put a guarantee in all the beauty that I've seen. But it is a call to have that glimmer of hope. And the guitar gives you that glimmer of hope. But fucking A, this song it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a real, and it's not, I mean, it is punk, but it's not hardcore. It's like musically, I mean, it is, but it's just gorgeous. It's fucking gorgeous. I'll talk about the music in a minute, but so versus Land of the Living, which I love this song. I love this song. What a weird opener. It's so not, I mean, I remember this, probably the album I remember most listening to for the first time when I brought it home on vinyl from, I don't remember. Was there a Rasputin's on Haight Street? I forget what that record store was on Haight Street back when I lived near there back in the 90s. And brought that home, put it on. I was like, what the fuck? And not in a bad way, but just like, this is not what I was expecting off of a No Means No album. But Rob's vocals in this are incredible. The patter, the pacing with which he delivers these lines. And in typical form, it's a brilliant polemic by Rob about, I mean, I don't think I can pin it down what it's about fully, because I think it's about a lot of things, and he packs a lot of shit in here. But it's also about authenticity. It's about pairing authenticity against how the vast majority of us, and the singer of the song does not exempt themselves from this, of being completely inauthentic all the time, almost unconsciously, not even almost, just unconsciously. You can't help it. But it very much is a call for authenticity, the entire song, and also a call towards living now here with what you see and not wishing for the afterlife. There's I was talking to Parker about this. He was really pointing this out to me more this time. I should have made notes on what he said because they were fucking brilliant. Where there's a lot of calls where it really is talking about someone looking towards the afterlife as being what they're living for, as opposed to really paying attention to what's in front of them. So it almost allows them to not pay attention to the land of the living, but instead walking over the body, the dead bodies as you float over their backs to the promised land you seek. Right. And it's just brilliant. And the patter in it, the way that Rob delivers these is fucking great. This is one of those songs where Rob's vocals are an instrument. The way that he's doing the rhythms plays off of the drums, plays off of the bass line. It's a fantastic fucking song. I think it's probably undervalued by a lot of people. I don't think it's called out that much, but I think it's fucking amazing work. So musically, Victory is amazing. It's perfect for what it needs to be. It is not acrobatic. It is
Right.
not over the top. It starts slow and plodding because it's leading you on that journey one beat at a time, with Rob just playing those quarter notes dung, 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 the whole way through, right? And John coming in and out of mirroring that and then going off of it, and Andy sometimes getting really growly and with his fucking guitar, and sometimes being right on the melody, and it going into the darker tones, the downward tones in the choruses. It really takes you on a journey. This song, the catharsis of the lyrics is, as in their best works, is matched by the musicality, is matched by the chord choices, and I think most beautifully matched by the subversion of that at the end, where Andy allows his guitar to resolve into a major instead of going down. It resolves up, which is gorgeous and cements the meaning of the song and allows my emotions to enter the meaning in a different way. It's just fucking great.
If that was the third of the chord, then that is called a Picardy third.
Fucking A. Look at that.
There's a word for a song that's always been in minor and you end on the major chord,
Ooh,
raised
nice.
third. It's called a
Nice.
Picardy third.
Nice.
If that's the third that he played.
So highlights of this, I mean, I've already said it. In Victory, it's the end. I think the ending is so beautiful. It's so quiet, and so personal, and the playing gets quiet. Like they're allowing space for me to be in the song with them, for me to be in that space. It's not confrontational. So much of the song is confrontational, not at me, but at oneself. It's the musician being confrontational with himself. But at the end, I'm just allowed to be there, sitting with them. Right? I feel like I'm in the room, sharing that moment with them. It's gorgeous. I love that moment.
It's intimate. Yeah.
And my favorite thing about Land of the Living is I think Rob's patter. It's his syncopation. It's the way that he delivers those lyrics. It's so. This is one of the songs that I sure as shit need to follow along on the lyric sheet, because there's some of the shit that even after listening to it a billion times, I'm like, what the fuck's he saying? Because he's so interested in the rhythm of it that the diction is gone, or I'm so in tune with the rhythm of it that it's harder for me to pick out what the actual word is, because I'm so taken in by the rhythm of it. So in any event,
and there's a line missing from the lyric sheet.
Well, that's true. That's right. That this the worst lyric sheet of all for them. There's a bunch of fuck ups in Mr. Happy, unfortunately. Apparently, when Andy left, he took their proofreader, I would guess, or maybe he was a proofreader. In any event, I mean, I've said a lot. That's probably enough for me. So, Michelle, how about you pop in about Victory and Land of the Living for round one?
Okay, Victory. God, I love the desolate overall way this song sounds and its emptiness, and it really adds to the vibe of it. I especially like how haunting John's drums sound. And they're echoey and they're kind of creepy. That's just a good part of it. One of the highlights of this song is how much the fan base has chimed in over the past couple months of years, and how it's helped so many through some truly horrible circumstances. And it's made me rethink this piece quite a bit and embrace its strength and its message. It's interesting how they made it not such a feel-good song, but more of a personal battle cry. I especially like the ominous victory lyrics Rob sings, and in between the what do you call them, verses, and the vocal part of that, it's playing a minor third, so you get that sad feeling. When you're playing a minor interval like that, it makes it like more ominousness. From stories I heard, I love how when Rob used to ask when they played it live if he had any friends there during the show, and everyone would let out a big howl in the audience. And
that must have been pretty cathartic, really, right?
Oh,
for
yeah.
Rob, especially after reading the book.
Sure. And while this doesn't have much musical gymnastics in it all, it's sure kicks with how heavy, serious, and essential that it is. Land of the Living, I'm guessing this is 100% a John song. There's plenty of piano, some great yelps in the back, and a great groove. Here again, this band could be blamed for playing the same line over and over again, and it's a sentiment that makes me want to kick these particular people square in their ass.
Fuck that.
When the band repeats this ostinato, this mantra, they add enough slight nuances to it that you can't help but become a bit hypnotized by it. That's what happens to me, anyways. I quite like the way Rob is singing along, like you mentioned, Jordan, with the rhythm of the bass line, and it's filled with lots of emotion and good dose of vibrato. He's using, a bit of vibrato, but
Yeah.
it's not off putting it. It sounds
Yeah.
good. It sounds really good. The ending of this is really fantastic, and I do love how the piano gets to shine a bit in this piece. I think those are my thoughts on those two songs. Yeah.
Yeah, the piano's great. That part when there are those who are silent.
Oh yeah,
Bling!
yeah.
Bling! It's so fucking good.
And
yeah.
then that one note that.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
hilarious.
good.
I
It's
love it.
so good.
Oh yeah. That's a Johnny song. What do you
Oh,
think?
I would agree. I think
Yeah.
you're probably right. Yeah.
Yep.
It's got that flavor. All right, Matthew, what do you got for us?
Oh, it's definitely a John song. If you listen to it, I might not have listened to that song in isolation since it came around the first time. And I have a certain, series of things that I tend to do. I'll usually do sort of 2, 3, listening it very loud in my sort of garage space, and then in my headphones on a walk, and then on the car stereo. But
That's cool.
I was listening in the garage today, and there is a lot more piano in that song than you might realize.
Yep.
When you kind of got it loud and listening to bits and pieces with as many speakers as I have, it's really kind of under everything. It might even be in most of the song in various
I think
capacities.
it is.
And yeah, it has a great structure, Landed Living, as does Victory. Victory is a very songy song. It is clearly it's a very structured and very song written song. But I think Land of Living was definitely a production of John with Rob and John did their bits individually. That's kind of how it feels to me, or one reacting to the other. Whereas Victory feels very much more harmonious. Like they all contributed, and
Right.
Yep.
there's as you say, there's no real acrobatics in either song really. But I don't know. Land of Living has a lot to think about in it. I do kind of like that. It is probably a self-criticism as well as pushing it outwards. I think it's just any time that it's about authenticity. It's about being genuine, and it's a criticism. I don't think. I mean, the easy one is people who are looking to an afterlife, but I think it's people who are looking to any kind of stereotyped ideal.
For sure.
And I feel that way generally. Like I generally won't like people if they're trying to be something that is not them, or is not. It's externally imposed in some way. Like I don't tend to like manly men or girly girls because they're unless that's what you're into. But it's not. Don't do it just because that's what you feel like you should do.
Yeah.
Not trying to be like someone else, or try to be like a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I think that's like a big part of kind of what No Means No teaches you. I think people who are into No Means No maybe they don't do that, and maybe they can't do that.
Right.
I've
like
always
this.
been kind of incapable of being anything but when I am. And maybe I'm just like that, and that's why I was attracted to No Means No. But maybe it sort of fed back and reinforced how I already am. But been doing a lot of thinking in this COVID downtime, like lying in my bed feeling like shit, and thinking the fact that I just turned 50, and like looking back, I'm like, I really don't feel very different. I don't think I've changed all that much ever. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, but maybe
That
there's
is
sort of like a
good.
constant core. But yeah, I like that aspect of Land of the Living. But he is so like taking himself to task. I think there's the narrative is taking themselves to task as well as not wanting to be around other people. Victory, it is also outward and inward, but I think more inward. It's introspective. There's sort of this tentative or hypothetical addressed to someone else. And I don't think that's a specific person. It might even be to himself. Can you forgive me? Can you forgive yourself? Like, can you be a friend to me? Are you able to love yourself? Are you able to kind of come to terms with whatever it is? Stranger, you were mentioning that, there have been an unbelievable number of just stories over the years in the communities that have grown up around No Means No, like people, deeply personal stories of addiction, depression, other kinds of physical illness that this song has genuinely lifted people out of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It means a lot to a lot of people, and that's a pretty amazing and powerful thing. And I think maybe that is maybe something about it, that it's very typical of a No Means No song in some ways, but also atypical in that it is really much more accessible than a lot of their work to a lot of people. And kind of jumping to the end here, I think I would haven't done the newbie thing, but I think I would, maybe the most introducible song, No Means No song, like that I would introduce pretty much anybody.
This one, Victory?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think people can cling on to it. And yeah. I don't know. Like, hey, musically, I love the quiet loud thing, which is very typical in No Means No, and just the simplicity yet intensity.
Right.
It is quiet at the end, like you say, Jordan, but it is also louder. That last chord that he plays is louder, or played harder. It sort of indicates determination. I think that's kind of how it makes me feel. What else do we got here? Highlights. I love the build up to the chorus in Victory. Do I have any friends here? You don't. You only hear it in the live album, or if you saw them live, like that. It was a guaranteed time when Rob would be grinning his face off.
Yeah,
and he did it. He did it every fucking time, and I don't think it ever became like cheesy or
No, it never was.
It was always genuine.
He knew the audience was going to really want to connect with him at that moment, right? Yep. It was like a mutual agreement where everyone knew this is a point for that parasocial relationship where you get to fucking connect with Rob.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Musically, I love the what will be. That's just the boom good. And the quiet afterwards. This is like one of my favorite things on any.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Totally. I do really like the fact, I think I might have brought this up last time we talked about this song, that for every defeat there will be a victory. Yes, it is about inspiration. It is like you will have a victory next time, but in the defeat that you currently have, that victory may not be yours.
Right.
Defeat and victory are binary. So
that's true. Yeah, it's a good point, right? Like a defeat only exists because of a victory, right? It's only a defeat
that's how I was thinking of it.
Dark and the light.
Yeah.
And musically, some of my favorite things in Land of the Living. I love the last chorus. There's like feedback and weird sounds in addition to the piano. And the bass drum pattern is from Body Bag.
Oh, what?
Boy, they go back to the Body Bag well quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
How did I not mention this? How did I hear it?
Once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Well, maybe
ashes to ashes.
Wow.
Oh, excuse me. Pardon me.
Yeah. There's very little about Victory that I would say is a low light for me. It's a pretty fucking perfect song. Just typically the quiet production on small parts. Kind of, I really would like to hear what a remaster sounds like.
Really?
Just it's so quiet. It's just
I like it.
I like it because I've listened to it a million times, but I would like to hear in an alternate universe what it would be like if it got a different, not better, a different production.
Yeah. Just a bit of a remaster. Just bring in.
I might hate that. I might hear that.
I might hate it too. I just want to hear what it sounds like because I feel like
fuck with
it was a bit empty here and there.
Oh God, no! I love it. I love that.
It's interesting because it does give a certain tone to the whole album, right?
Yes.
Like there's
that's true.
It gives an overarching feeling that I wonder how. Anyway, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole.
I wish I could like it, and in some ways I do, but on living the falsetto whoop and the this kind of gets it just a bit much and it's a bit repetitive. That kind of bugs me just a
The
smidge.
whoop.
And I got to say on Victory, I really don't like. Are you gonna lay down and die? When he says no in the studio version, I don't like the way he says no way
Oh,
in the live and cuddly version.
Oh, in the live and cuddly version, you don't like it?
I
No
don't like
way!
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Although I have to say,
Oh,
like, there's
wow.
a
just
lot
kind
in
of
the.
mitigates a powerful.
I would agree with that a bit actually on that particular line because there's actually a lot in the live
You
and cuddly
jumped the
version that I
shark.
really enjoy how
Yeah,
he
yeah,
fucks with the vocal performance, but I kind of agree on that one. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
I will. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, that's what I got to say about
All right. Well,
the first bit.
round two. How representative of No Means No? On a
Wow.
pardon me for that was greasy and gnarly. As a whole, this is. I'm going to clip that out so
No,
users
leave
will have
it.
no idea what happened. Is Victory representative of No Means No as a whole? I mean, fuck yes. I mean, Jesus
Yes.
Christ, this is one of the most iconic songs. I mean, to your point, Matthew, it's different than a lot of other iconic No Means No songs, but there's a reason this song is iconic. Speaking of stories, there's one that I'm not going to quote exactly because I don't have it in front of me, but from the book where someone talks about seeing someone in Northern Ireland, I believe.
Oh, yep.
Who had like lost an arm and their face had been fucked by some explosion.
Yes.
And that they were just front and center in stage, just screaming the lyrics to the song back
Crying.
at the band, crying in catharsis.
Yep.
Right. And that to me is like, that is why this song is so indicative of No Means No,
Yes.
because it's, and the fact that when they needed to, when there was really something to say, the entire band got around that and made every part of the song work towards what they were saying. They didn't need to do gymnastics. They didn't need to do complicated shit. They didn't need to show off. They just said, no, what this song needs is fucking this. Is introspection, is honesty. And so everything in this song screams that. Every part of it does. And that is so indicative of the best of this band. And that's why the song is so good, is because it's such a good pinnacle of putting everything else aside except what serves the song. And so that the song is just holistic. And that's why I think it's touched so many people, because it's everything it should be with nothing extraneous. It's just, it is what it needs to be.
Everything it should be.
And they just all knew what to bring to it. And I think to your point, Matthew, like it feels that way. It feels like all three of the members brought what needed to be brought to this. It wasn't, I wrote this part, you wrote this part, now we're going to put them together. And that's really fucking cool. It's just the song. It's Victory.
Yeah,
they all put their fingerprints on it, and it's all perfect. So it very much is representative of No Means No Whole. And it's also indicative of the absolute unflinching honesty these guys bring, which I think is the other reason this song speaks to so many people, because there are a million songs out there that opine to be inspirational or cathartic, but are just saccharine or are just falsely negative, right? Like this is a song of unflinching honesty. That's why it's cathartic. And this song in particular is just unflinching in its honesty. And anybody who hears this, not anybody, some who hear this and just go, what a negative band, are just not people who are ready to face that aspect of their lives. Too. Or they're just not ready to face that part of their lives. Or there's someone who just has not had that experience, right? And hasn't been reflective in that way. But if you are someone who's been reflective in that way, either from circumstance or because of your makeup or whatever, the song's going to immediately speak to you because it's done from such an authentic point of view and authentic voice. And so it's absolutely representative of No Means No as a whole. Is Land of the Living representative? I think it's hard for me to say it is, except that I think it fits so well into Mr. Happy as a whole, which I think is one of the more sort of cohesive albums as a unit, in the sense that like everything plays well together. And this song plays so well with everything else that it's their concept album to me, right? It's like it's an album that's like, you got to listen to the whole fucking thing. There's a few songs in this that I can pick out. And of course, my favorite song of all time, but this song works so well, and it's such a great start to everything else, and it's a great fucking opener into the river, which is like right in the balls after this song ends, right? Like, so I think it's indicative of their intelligence at how to craft. Well, okay, let me say this. I think it's clearly a John song. Rob came in with the lyrics on top of it, but how fucking amazing. So it is indicative of the way that these two minds, these two
Yes.
talents can come together and create something so fucking good when it may have been one person saying, here's the music, and Rob coming in and going like, fuck this, I got this shit to put on top. And it still feels like this brilliant, cohesive fucking song that totally works. And I think it's only because we've dived really fucking into the minutia that we can say, oh, it's John and Rob put his shit on top of it. You wouldn't really know that if you were listening to it. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? This is great. So yeah, I think it's indicative, but not in the same way that Victory is. I think it's I wouldn't say it's as representative of a pinnacle of the genre as Victory is. In terms of newbie, I don't feel the same way you do, Matthew. I would introduce Victory to a lot of people. If I knew someone well enough and I knew that they'd been through shit in a way that I had connected with them, I would 100% play the song for them. 100%.
Yep.
But if they were someone that I didn't know that well, and I'm like, I kind of know they like good music, funky music, but I kind of want to introduce them to something, I might play Land of the Living more.
Right,
but probably I wouldn't even choose that one first. But it just because it hits with Victory, I'd want someone to hear it and listen and pay attention and feel it. And so if that was something I wanted to share with someone, 100% I'd put it on. Absolutely. But not just for any newbie. Like, because I wouldn't want to play this for someone that wasn't really listening to it, because it doesn't hook you. There's not an earworm to this. There's not a hook to this in the same way that some of their other songs do that might
It's medical.
pull me in.
It's fucking medical.
Yeah. But I don't know. That could be persnickety of me. Like this song may be brilliant enough to hook anybody in. It's certainly powerful enough. But I think, I don't know that, a Victory would be a really high list of newbie choices for a particular set of people. Land of the Living probably wouldn't be. It would not be one of my top picks to throw at somebody right off the bat, for sure. Yeah, that's it. That's round 2.
Jesus Christ, I don't want to
Strangey.
I don't want to go. I hate
bad.
following you.
That's the deal. Well, he's following Matthew, so here we go. These are the rules.
Victory. Is this well representative of the band? Yes, I would say very much so. The power of the words are the pinnacle part of it, and the only guy in the band who could sing this is
No means no.
Rob. No, the only guy that can sing it is Rob.
Yes, the only
I don't
guy
want to
that
hear
can sing
anybody else sing it. No,
Fucking
it's got to
good
be
point.
Rob. Yeah. He's really figured out how to rip his heart out and show it to you. That's what I wrote about Victory. Sorry about the conciseness. Land of the Living. This is quite representative of the band as well. I think it is.
Yeah.
And while it's not technically too musically difficult, its emphasis on dynamics and union of the vocals matching the ostinato that's playing is magnetizing. Would I play this for someone? I would maybe play Victory if I was making a Get Well Soon mixtape. It's got to be a mixtape. It's got to be a mixtape. You can't sit down with somebody and say, listen to this. They got to listen to it on their own terms when they're in the right mind to just listen to a mixtape. All right. You know what I'm saying? Something to listen to for some deep thinking. Land of the Living, I would play it in a casual setting, yeah. But I don't think I'd play either one of them for a newbie.
Yeah. Great.
Unless the newbie needed a Get Well Soon mixtape.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think we disagree. I think, yes, somebody would have to be listening to it. I think in that context, it's like, I'm going to play you a song, but you really need to listen to the music and the lyrics.
No.
But yeah, just to try and hook somebody, yeah, probably not. Although I do think that if you are listening to it, that the Victory is an unusually accessible and relatable No Means No song.
I agree. Actually, on that front.
I think a lot of people, if you could get them to listen to it, I think a lot of people would like Victory who wouldn't like a lot else of.
Agreed. It's not esoteric, right? If you sat down with the lyric sheet of this and Land of the Living, Victory is going to hook in a far fuck more people than Land of the Living from a lyrical perspective, right? 100%.
So yeah, in terms of the where it is in their body of work, Victory is maybe maybe the most important. I don't know whether it's their best song, but I think maybe it's the most important song.
Yeah,
Right,
I would
good
agree.
point.
Or
Yeah.
makes a good play for number one that way. I think Land of the Living, yeah, it is. It's representative of No Means No's work, but maybe of it's like I feel increasingly about Mr. Happy. Generally, it's more than most No Means No albums. It is of its time. Mama, you'll go, yeah, that's an '80s album, and I think Mr. Happy, yeah, that's a '90s album, but I would have trouble identifying if I'd never heard it before, like when 0+2=1 or Small Parts came from.
Huh. Oh, wow.
And in terms of
That's
Land of the
interesting.
Living, yeah, I think it's a great song. It's very catchy
Yep.
in a lot of ways. So yeah, maybe why not introduce that? If I think that somebody who likes, I don't want to say grunge, but bands with a certain type of
got a
energy
hook.
from the '90s,
Yeah.
and I was going to introduce them to
Mm-hmm.
No Means No. It's a great first song on an album. So yeah, I guess I don't know that Mr. Happy would be an album that I would recommend first to everybody, but certain people, yes. And Land of Living is a fantastic opener, so I guess yes, I would introduce newbies to it in certain contexts.
Yeah, it's not very off-putting for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also not a song that I would feel super bad if the person started talking over it and asking me questions. Unlike other No Means No songs, when people do that and I'm trying to play them to them, I'm
You're
like,
like, "Shut
will
up."
you shut the fuck up? I actually want you to listen to this. Don't ask me a question about how my day was. Listen to the fucking song, you piece of shit.
Oh my God.
That's a real dialogue that's gone in my head.
You're
Just-
going to get nowhere with that. I'm here to tell you.
No, I'd never say it out loud. That's just in my head.
Oh.
I would.
That's because you wear your heart on your sleeve, as he asks you to do
No.
in Land of the Living.
And my asshole on my forehead.
And your asshole on your forehead. All right. Well, are we ready for a vote, folks? Any last words?
Nope.
All right. Well, we're going to vote. I mean, I'm not going to belabor this. It's victory, right? I mean, victory is important. It's an important song. It needs to go very far down the field. Will it go to the end? I don't know. Probably not for me, but it might. But it's important. This is an important song in their oeuvre. It's important
In
to
its
many
own
people.
category, it
It's
would.
important in their. I think probably even the band is a little surprised by how much it struck people, but it really has struck a chord. So victory for me, Michelle.
I'm doing the 2-finger salute, which looks like
Victory,
a V.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm voting for the victory.
Matthew.
Yeah, I don't think there's much contest there. Land of Living is great. It'd be tough for a lot of songs to stand up against Victory. I think you were talking to the spareness and precision, and all the fat has been trimmed from Victory, Michelle, and calling it medical, but I think it's actually medicine.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No, you're right. Yes.
Oh
Absolutely.
no! I mean, I don't disagree with what you said. I'm just saying that I think it is
I
medicine
like
and has
medicine.
been
I like
medicine. It has been therapy
Yes.
for people, and
I love that about it.
Continually, it is for me as well. If there's a No Means No song that I might tear up a little bit, it's probably that one.
All right.
Nice.
Right. Cool.
Well, victory's victorious, so that's great. I think a lot of people will probably be happy with that. Very, very few people will probably be upset with us on that one, but who knows? There's one or two of you out there, and if that's the case, sorry about that.
I doubt that there'd be many people who wouldn't at least understand where we're coming from.
I agree, and
exactly.
Land of the Living is now lost twice, so it's not coming back. That's the end of Land of the Living. It is now in the land of the dead. So we are going to turn to our middle segment, one of my favorite segments, which is a listener submission. And this time we have an actual honest-to-God recording, which we're stoked about. But as always, folks, we love to hear these. Send them in. Makes our day. Love to hear these shit.
We've been getting quite a few, and please
Yep.
stay patient with us. I know that our release schedule has not been super highly paced, but we're all over 50 now. Fuck off.
We're old.
We're over 50. We got jobs. We got all sorts of shit going on. It's hard.
50.
Yeah.
Who's that chick on Saturday Night Live? I'm 50.
Yeah. So
I can't think of her name. But it's
But
funny.
yeah, they will all be played eventually, and send them in. No means nothing podcast at gmail.com. Send it in as a MP3 file, or write it out. Let us know which of us you'd like to read it. And just write to us generally. See, I don't know. Tell us what's going on with you. If you've already sent out sort of typical stuff that gets read out. If you've already done that, do it again. People change. So
yeah. And hey, not everything you write needs to be read. If you just feel like reaching out, we love that too. There's certainly people that have written us that have nothing to do with wanting to be read on the podcast, but we love to hear from you.
Hey, how you doing? Exactly.
It's nice for us to connect with you folks out there. No means nobodies.
Yep.
All right. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and
listen. Don't feel bad if I don't approve you on Facebook. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to go ahead and listen to Kenny McNabb. Thank you, Kenny. I fucking love this one. Michelle, I don't think you've heard it. Matthew, I don't know if you've listened to this yet, but here we go. We're going to listen to a little bit of Kenny.
Okay.
Hello, No Means Nabdies. Hi, I'm Kenny. I'm from near Glasgow. I have loved No Means No since I first heard them in about 1992.
Wow.
And I just thought I'd put a wee recording in because, do you know what? Everyone else's sound really, really cool. They've got really great fucking backstories with the band, helping the band, interacting with the band. I don't really have any of that, man. Most of my stories are a bit shit. And I thought, I don't want to do this. But I thought, you know what? Actually, maybe I should. Maybe I should let other folks who are a bit shy about putting in a recording realise that some of us are hapless idiots who happen to love the band and, incidentally, totally love the podcast. Love you three. Your interplay is amazing. Anyway, let's start at the beginning. My uni pal, Steve, for some reason, random night out, I ended up crashing on his floor back at his folks' house in some shitey town in Lanarkshire. Don't really understand how that happened, but back in the day, you would crash anywhere. Anyway, in the morning, he's like, you really have to fucking listen to this, Kenny. This is amazing. And he put on, look, I can't actually remember. I think it was Sex Mad, but I'm not actually sure. But what I do remember is it was like a gut punch. I fucking loved it immediately. I know some people say it took them a bit of time to like properly get No Means No. I fucking loved it straight away.
Nice.
So that's kind of how I ended up loving the band. I made it to see them, I think, all but one of the times from that day onwards that they played in Glasgow. Loved seeing them live, man. Best fucking live band ever.
Oh, cool.
So look, I don't really have that many good stories directly connected to the band, but I thought I'd tell this wee story about a holiday in 1993 that I took to Greece. Went via Athens, had a long walk through Athens. Now, long story short, where I was going, I was told that there was a record player. I fucking lugged multiple records in my suitcase to go on holiday in the blistering heat, one of which was Why Do They Call Me Mr. Happy? And worst thing of it is, I didn't know about Andy leaving the band because, no internet and all that shit in those days.
Right.
And I didn't like the fact it sounded quite different from some of the stuff that had gone before. I was still relatively newbie to the band. I didn't know the history, didn't know much detail, didn't like it. And my pal that was on holiday with went, Kenny, that's shite, get it off. He doesn't really like No Means No, to be fair. So it took me a while to get into the record, which is mental, because it's actually a fucking fantastic record, and I love it so much. So, bit of a random story, but I guess carrying heavy records in the blistering heat of Greece in the height of summer says, you must fucking love that band. I do fucking love that band.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like the other thing, one of the things that threads that run through the podcast, run through all the message groups is we have a real sense of community, us No Means No fans. We're like, we gravitate towards each other's personalities because there's something deeper in No Means No than just the music. It's more than that. And it's created one of my everlasting best friendships. I was at work wearing a No Means No t-shirt. My pal Mark, saw the T-shirt, thought, I'm going to like that guy. Came over and said, hiya, got to know each other. We're, like really, really good, close pals and spend a lot of time in each other's company. Many happy years, all brought about by wearing a No Means No T-shirt to work, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I came fleetingly close to a proper interaction with some of the band members. It was their last tour to Glasgow. The following day, I went to the local village pub with my parents in the village I grew up. Kind of a backwater, right? It's a nice village, don't get me wrong, but it's not somewhere where people go. And in that local pub, John and Tom were actually in there having lunch too, which mind fucking blowing.
Yeah.
Me being the socially inept arsehole that I am, I managed to go, wave a hand, hi guys, really enjoyed your gig last night. And they went, oh yeah, nod, but no further interaction. Like literally, I could have gone over, I could have chatted to them, could have got my picture taken with them, the usual things that fanboys do with bands, but no. I just went, hi, really good gig, and then fucked off. So that's as close as I got to a really good interaction, and it could have been so much better. But, I'm an absolute diddy. And to cap it all off in diddiness, the crowdfunding that was done for the book, I put my money in. I was on the list to get signed hardback. I saw people getting theirs on the groups on Facebook. I was like, what's happened to mine? I went on my email, couldn't find anything. I was like, fuck, I've been scammed. But actually, no, I'm an absolute idiot. What had happened was it was on a different email, one that I don't look at, but I spent, 2 or 3 weeks literally in bits thinking, what the fuck have I done? I've been scammed. I'm missing out on the signed hardback. I'm an absolute fucking plum. Only to then dig through a different email and find that I was due it. And I will say this, Jason made a very good choice working with PM Press. When I finally got in touch with them, they were really, really fucking lovely. And I now am the proud owner of the book. So woo-hoo. I'm a happy little boy again. But still a fucking idiot. Anyway, look, that's my inane drivel about the band. Guys, keep up the podcast. It's fucking awesome. The band are fucking awesome. The community is fucking awesome. And I fucking love you all. Cheers, guys.
Oh, man. Be like Kenny. Did you hear that? That's fucking great, man. Jesus Christ.
There's no one, I don't think any dialect like the Scots for, just little cast off, things like, well, I don't know, Diddy. Plum.
To bits.
Muppet. All that kind of shit.
Love it.
It's like the thrown off stuff. You guys have a real eloquence for casual self-recrimination.
Yep.
As well as just plain old recrimination. Fantastic.
Right.
Anyway, thanks so much, Kenny, for
that fucking ruled. That ruled.
Yeah.
And be like Kenny, right? Kenny didn't think he had anything interesting to say. You just fucking heard it. Listen to that.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn.
You don't have to have a cool accent like his. Use your stupid regular one.
That's right.
I do.
That's right. A boot. All right. Fucking thanks, Kenny.
Speaking of Canadian things, I just had I poured myself a new glass of this, and I just have to say, can't do the podcast without a whole lot of Milkis.
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know what he's just said. I don't get it.
You won't, but a lot of people just
is it one of your shows?
A lot of Canadian people just cream
Is it one of your shows?
Bit. Well, Kenny has set the stage for a good
You're not even going to tell me?
I don't know what it is. He's not going to tell you. He's going to make you suffer.
It's that guy at the Trailer Park Boys with his Roman Coke.
We've got round 2 coming up here. Matthew's going to go first here, but Matt, round 2 is a pretty good one. We've got Who Fucked Who? Off of Mr. Right, Mr. Wrong, 1 Down 2 to Go, 1994. Now, this is pretty controversial, I think. It won against 2 Lips, 2 Lungs, and 1 Tongue.
Holy shit!
I think you can guess the single dissenting vote by that reaction.
Maybe so.
I still that's a tough one. I still stand behind it. I mean, I
do too.
fucking love Two Lips, Two Lungs, and One Tongue. I love it. But I'll get into why I stand behind it later. But yeah, I
I'm
still
not
stand
surprised
beside
I voted for that. However, that was very difficult.
it. It's
for
a
me.
tough one.
Yeah.
So that went up against Old, which is off Tour EP1. So it's the opening song of Tour EP1 from 2010. Now it won against Beat on the Brat. Episode 8.
Oh, tell us how you feel about that song,
Which was
Jordon.
a unanimous. I don't need to revisit. I don't need to relitigate that, but I would stand behind. Let me just say, I stand behind that vote. That was also also unanimous. That was also unanimous. So, who fucked who versus Old? A story as old as time. Let's listen to a little bit of who fucked that. And fuck, my metaphors are not on point tonight. All right, here we go.
I thought it was funny.
Just listen to this shit. Probably get ready, because I think probably I'm just going to play the entirety of Old. So just get ready. You're probably going to have like 8 minutes in your ear. So, just buckle up.
Sit down in your easy chair, put your feet up.
Yeah.
Hatred, animosity are real as life to me. There is no space between these minor chords. But if the scales of life are weighted down with cruelty, the other side is lifted up with love. How do you? How do you? How do you? How do you? Tell me who fucked you. Who fucked you? Roses are red, violets are blue. You're fucked up, but I am too. It's a sad story. Yeah, we've all been on the bottom of the old in and out. You gotta rise up, rise up, rise up, and up down. It's been years old. The faces have changed. The story's the same.
All right, Matthew. Well, it's 8 minutes later. So what have you got for us on these two songs?
Very different. Very different songs.
Right.
Truer words were never spoken.
Yeah, very, very different songs. And yet,
And yet.
in some ways, they're the same song, just a couple decades apart.
I'm interested to hear this.
Yeah.
Explain.
Okay. I don't know. Just that we've all been on the bottom of the old in and out. You got to rise up. And Old, it's been years. The faces have changed. The story is the same.
Yeah, I get that. I can hear that resonance.
It's sort of about, Old is acceptance, and who fucked who is just like we're all in
outrage.
it together, getting fucked by everybody else. Everybody's been on the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, Who Fucked Who is
Oh, jeez.
it's an incredible fucking song. There
Oh my
are a few places where I think that it was not included on an album, and maybe if it were tightened up just a smidgen here and there, it would have been
Tightened
an
up?
absolute banger. Just
It would have fucking broke if it were any tighter.
I know.
Yeah,
what are you
good
talking
point.
It would have
about?
snapped. It would have
I'm
snapped. Shit would have
telling-
snapped.
I'm telling on you.
No, listen, it's his turn.
it's cryptic, but still relatable. Like you wonder if there's a story, but you can pour your own story into it. I think because it is sort of an everyman kind of thing. Who do you attack? Who fucked who? Who screwed who? And what was said? Like trust is nobody is who they appear to be. Actually, this song has a lot in common with The Land of the Living as well. I would say.
Yes, absolutely. There's so much fucking resonance there.
I didn't even think about that.
For sure.
Of course.
Even with Victory, a little bit, just different.
The structure of Old, purposely slow, like deliberately. I think, in fact, they were trolling a little bit. Sometimes it was
100% trolling.
Playing that song live.
100%.
I was
They would
just like,
open
okay,
shows. They opened
okay.
the tour with that fucking show, for fuck's sakes. Like,
Come
there was
on.
never a greater troll in all of music history.
The ponderous
Really?
pace and tone definitely
Fuck.
matched the theme. I feel like it is all Rob, and I think that I would have liked Old. I think it probably over time, if they had had more time or had played for longer, that it would become. There would have been little things, little traditions that happened with the crowd interactions
Oh,
and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
like that. And I have
Sure.
a feeling that over time, Tom probably would have found his voice more in this song.
Mm.
It's you
There's
hear it
room
a
for
little
that,
bit
yeah.
towards the end for sure. The guitar and drums are a little less important. In Old, it seems like a Rob as fuck song, to the extent that I think it could have been probably arranged as a Mr. Wrong song,
Might have been, actually, right? Like, we don't know.
or
but
if it
100%
wasn't,
could
it
have been,
easily
yeah.
could be. Yeah,
Could be, yep.
Some of the stuff in the performance. I mean, it is purposely just not treacly, but like molassesly slow.
Molassesly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Molassesly.
Who Fucked Who is much faster. Has some really interesting things going on that I hadn't thought of, and maybe it's just commonalities between certain types of music. But there is a droning sound. It is the bass, but he's doing something which I haven't really heard in other songs. It is like a Middle Eastern and Indian thing that you hear sometimes, but also it in terms of how this particular low steady drone of the bass in certain parts, bagpipe music has it too.
Oh, yeah.
the
yeah.
constant low.
Yep.
It's the open D string. He does this on Give Me the Push. He has these he loves those open D string, G string fucking riffs.
But it's like
Fucking
this one's
incredible.
it's more buzzy and circular and like as I say, you have the drones, they're actually called drones, the low pipes and bagpipes. There are even commonality with didgeridoo in terms of the circular breathing that you have
What
to
about them bowls that you put the stick on and you put it around
sure.
the rim of the
Yeah,
bowls?
sure. Yeah.
do. Yeah.
What's those bowls? Those
The
are cool.
Tibetan singing bowl, yeah.
Yes.
The overtones.
In terms
Yes.
of the music and lyrics, I think Who Fuck Who, it's kind of chaotic and violent. Perfect matchup to the between the music and the lyrics. Old, same thing. It's slow and samey and exactly what they intended to do.
Yes.
The hi-hat playing and the ride cymbal matching the bass and Who Fucked Who, fucking incredible.
Yes. Fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
One of the best, I'd say, hi-hat songs. I love the yell at the start, and if you listen carefully,
Oh
you can
my God.
hear just the monitor buzz,
Yes.
which I like as well. It just is
yeah. Yep.
fantastic.
I know what you mean. Yep, yep.
I love the Middle Eastern feel, if you sort of, but then it's like mixed with Roadhouse blues,
Yep.
like a fucking Motorhead song. And I love that when they really let go at the end and rise up an octave, of course.
Oh my God.
Pretty fantastic. In Old, I really like Rob's vocals in the part where he's stay a little longer, when he's really, really belting it out. It's,
Yep.
Yeah, pretty fantastic pipes there, and he is playing to his strengths as a vocalist. I think in old,
Right. Yes.
a
Nice.
little less so, and I guess this would be a bit of a low light for me. Some of the vocals in who fucked who, tremolo and vibrato with
Careful
Rob.
now. Careful.
Sometimes you maybe just don't.
Careful now. Careful now.
Hard disagree, sir.
Yeah.
Oh!
Hard disagree.
As for a low light of old, I think it's just long. It's
very
in
long.
certain contexts.
Yeah.
It's
a good
interminable,
troll.
and the pace is not always what you're looking for from No Means No. Is how I will put it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Michelle.
It's
What have
my
you to say?
turn. I think I mentioned this the last time when I first heard this song. I about shit myself. I'm talking about Who Fucked Who, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the band said to me, I still love you, baby. What a phenomenal banger this is, and I can't get enough of it. The way it starts, and Matthew, you said the monitor thing. I like on Rob's neck on the bass, you can hear like, you can hear each of the half steps as his finger goes down the fucking neck. Wait, where was I on my paper? Oh, I like how fuck you it is, and it's so good. This is two guys. Am I right? It's two guys.
Yep, that's it. There's no
Two
guitar on this shit.
Fucking guys. The oh my god, I love that. That riff, it brings back the verses, and it's one of my favorite songs. It's so good. The amount of sass, snarl, and groove and attitude in this makes Rob a national treasure in my eyes.
Which nation?
Well, wait, I want to ask you about that because I wrote National Treasure of Canada, but I don't know if
world treasure. He's an international treasure.
Wait, I'm gonna scratch that out.
He's
Not
an
national
international treasure.
Wait, that's
You
even
think
better.
Kenny doesn't think he's a treasure?
Yeah, okay.
Right? Let's not diss Kenny.
International
He's an international
world
treasure.
treasure. Yeah.
World treasurer.
All right, thank
nominate
you.
Rob
I
and his
fixed my
Bitcoin.
paper.
You just reminded me to check the hockey score because the nation in National Hockey League is Canada. Thank you very much.
All right,
Yeah, okay. Well, while Rob is shining up front, let's not forget the colossal behemoth in the back using everything he's got to lay down the perfect foundation, along with the beginning. Oh, God, I love the beginning, but the thing that kills me, I gotta say, and I think I know all the words. Help me now. Roses are red, violets are blue.
You're fucked up.
No, he goes,
You're fucked up.
The way he says, you're fucked
But
up.
I am
You're fucked,
too.
but I am too.
But he
It's
softens
a
when he says
Yep.
it, but I am too.
Yeah.
God.
And no, wait, it keeps going. It's a sad story. Yeah, we've all been on the bottom of the old in and out. We gotta rise up, rise up, an octave. And then he does rise up an octave.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
If you don't have,
you don't have a boner right then, Jesus
I
Christ.
boners, shit in your pants. I know I say it all the time, but like how, like your hair's got to be standing up.
100%. 100%.
Nothing is wrong with this doozy, and I pity the fool who doesn't like it.
Yep. What do you got to say about old? You didn't say anything about
sorry.
old.
I'm sorry. Old. I don't think I've given this song enough credit. I haven't. It's on the slower side, but man, it's substantial. It's very substantial. It kind of makes me sad too, in a way. Like they've probably been hearing that word for years.
Right.
Maybe it's pissed them off, but maybe they're just giving the finger back to everybody. But the harmony between John and Rob in this is pretty phenomenal sounding, and I think the recording is really great too. If I could come up with any criticism of sorts, it would be that it's on the longer side. And maybe the last section could maybe be pared down or even become its own interlude of sorts. I think there's a guitar in there, and I do love the feedback that I hear and the other sound effects that I think I hear. Rob is singing this with such passion, and he sounds great. This song is in 3, or I usually count it in 6 because of the way the phrasing is. and
Yeah, that's right.
I always like time signatures in 3 or 6.
Yeah. It sounds like 6 to me too. I mean, it is 3, I'm
Yeah,
sure, but no, I'd
just
agree.
I always go
Which
with
I
the
love that
phrasing
about
'cause
them. I love how
yeah.
natural they make that shit sound.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who fucked who? If you're a No Means No fan, and this isn't like at the top of your list, fucking sort your shit, man. Like, go
the
listen
fool.
to it again. Like, if you don't have this album, go listen to it on YouTube. How I understand why this didn't make it onto an album because it just wouldn't fit sequencing rise. But fuck, this of all the songs that didn't make it on, other than This Wound Will Never Heal, this is one that's like, oh, this is a top shelf No Means No song that just didn't make it on an album. But
It's Red Devil's brother.
there's never a time when I don't listen to this song where I'm just not losing my shit. Of all 4 of these songs, this is the one that I listen to like 20 times more than the other 3 in this roster of these songs. Like, I listened to this fucking a lot in the last 4 weeks since we recorded. I never get bored of it. I mean, Matthew, you mentioned that I'm a sucker for the Middle Eastern tonalities and the open D string and G string riffs that he does here, that he does in Give Me the Push, that he does in a couple other songs. It really does something to me. When I played bass, that was my favorite way to play, was just fucking sitting in my room for hours, just playing with an open D and playing on the G string in like Middle Eastern tonalities. It does something to me. And he does it so and I knew how to play this song. This was one of the songs I actually learned how to play. This song is fucking incredible. It's a platonic fucking form of a shake your ass song. This song kicks every ass that it ever met. It fucked everybody. Who fucked who? This song did. It fucked everybody. It said, I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to fuck you. It starts off, as you mentioned, Matthew, and strangely, Matt, you mentioned, it starts off with Rob getting stabbed in the fucking back. Oh! Like, that's him. It's like his getting stabbed in the fucking back. And he starts,
oh, God.
I was listening to this song with my daughter today, who's quickly becoming a No Means No fan.
Good boy.
And she's coming to me to the Dead
Good
Bob
girl.
shows, and she fucking is blown away by John's drums all the time. She's trying to learn how to play drums. And she was like, this song reminds me of middle school. This is like a song of people spilling tea, which is what the slang these kids use these days for complaining to each other and like bitching with each other, right? That's spilling the tea. That's the kids know that lingo. Those of you with kids will know that lingo. And she was really into it. She's like, this song rules.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the lyrics up until the end, again, like Victory in a sense, are very dark. It's very much about contending with how our worldview can often be so colored by betrayal that we think that we're constantly betrayed by everyone around us. And I'm not saying we always are, but you can get in that mindset where just everyone's fucking with you. When you get into that mindset, you feel like everyone's fucking with you. We've all been fucked with. We think that everyone's fucking with us. Fuck,
They
right?
are.
It's right in the lyrics. I'm sorry, I got to say fuck again because it's in the title. Who fucked who? Fuck you. But at the end, it ends with that. But no, what I was going to say is not that. The music doesn't feel that way. The music is so pumped up. The music just makes me fucking happy the whole time. So it's not a song that takes, like, it matches the lyrics, but it also just, it's that kind of piss. You know what it is? It's that feeling of adrenaline you get when you feel righteous because someone has pissed you off. It matches that feeling of like, I'm fucking right and you're an asshole. And that feeling of like glee you get when you feel that.
It's more punk than a lot of No Means No songs.
It's more punk than a lot of songs. It's really funky, but it also, in terms of how it matches that tone, it's like, it's not dark tonally in music. It's fucking exciting. But it's that
song.
It matches the excitement of like, I'm fucking pissed off, so fuck you, and it makes me go like, fuck you. But the ending third of this song is just fucking perfect. As soon as it starts with the musical break, where they have the extended open D G string, and then it has Rob going like da 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 da, and then it goes all the way through the part, Michelle, that you quoted, where they actually rise up an octave.
God,
all of that
so
is just like, it is perfect. Like, it is perfect. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Matthew. Tighten the shit up. If it was tightened anymore, the shit would snap and blind you.
Yeah.
I feel so. I'm lucky enough to have gotten to see them play this. They did a tour. I think it wasn't the Two Drummers tour. I think it was the Worldhood tour. But they started off the tour coming out just the two of them, and they played Long Days. They played Long Days first, and then they played this. but this had not come out on CD yet.
Oh,
and so I was
man.
like, what the fuck is this? This is the best song I've ever heard in my life. And I almost literally shit my pants listening to this song. It was so fucking incredible. And I love how this is a song where John and Rob are really locked in musically together and playing the same thing almost the entire time. Like they are playing the same beats. They're playing the same accents. They're just right on the fucking pocket. And then every once in a while, John will go off and it'll give some texture. Rob will go off and get some texture. And then they're right back in the fucking pocket.
Yep.
And they bring me back in the pocket. And that's where I want to be, man. I just want to be in that fucking pocket, sitting with them, sniffing it in. I don't care how bad it smells in there, man. I'm there. I'm there in that pocket. I love it. I love this song. I think it is fucking incredible.
Old what are you going to vote for?
Old is also incredible. This song is great. It is 100% a troll. I mean, the way that they played the song live was like everyone was fucking out of their minds. We get to see No Means No. And then they play this song first. Everyone was just like, what the fuck is happening? What is this? 8 minutes of the dirgiest shit No Means No has ever played.
Might as well sit down on the floor.
Might as well just sit. But that matches the song, right? Like, of course it has to be this way. That's what it's about. And what a great, beautiful meditation at the end of their career. Rob being like 60 fucking 5 years old, probably when he was playing this song, a beautiful meditation, both a fuck you and also an acknowledgement and a settling into the fact that age fucking happens, man. We're all now over 50. Matthew's now joined the club. It fucking happens. And it's a beautiful meditation on that. It's not overly complex. It's very matter of fact, but it just sits you in it. And if you can sit with the song and rest in it, it doesn't try to get complicated. It does. I do wish there's a breakdown in it, kind of halfway through, maybe. I wish it went a little harder. I think this song, if I had one criticism, is that it could use something that goes a little bit harder in the middle of it, because they almost get there. But it's still fucking great. I think Tom does some great work at the end of this song. I fucking love it. And I think it's a wonderful, long, bluesy, slow fucking riff. And the balls to open up their EPs with this song is like, yeah, fuck you. We're going to do what we want. We've earned it. Fuck you, man. Yeah, you call this old? Here's old. Take this shit, right? But Who Fucked Who, man? Jesus Christ. So my favorite parts of Who Fucked Who, I already said, this is the last third of the song. I think that it's unimpeachable. It's one of my favorite bits in any No Means No song. I think it's fucking incredible. You got to rise up an octave with that. It just never fails. I have goosebumps. I am banging my head. If I have it turned up to 9, it's up to 12 or 30 by that point. Like, I cannot help but just lose my shit over this song. And I seek this song out. There's, when I think about that sometimes with No Means No songs, which ones do I seek out to play? Not ones that come to me or I'm on shuffle, but like, I want to hear that song.
I need it.
I never listen to old that way, but Who Fucked Who, 100%. I go to that song. It will lift my spirits, this song. It absolutely lifts my spirits every time. Nothing about that song bugs me. Nothing about that song bugs me. Not a single fucking moment of that song. I think I was very serious when I said I think it's the platonic ideal. It's a platonic form delivered into this world of a shake your ass, get my shit going song.
Exactly.
Old, the same thing that I am bugged by, I also think is its best feature, which is that it's so fucking long. That is awful, and it's too long. It has a whole minute of lead out. There's a whole song at the end, a whole minute of just slow entropy fuzz. And yet, that is also its best feature. That also kicks ass. It is so fucking great that it's so long. It is so great that it takes its time. Could give a shit about wasting your time. And then it just lets itself disintegrate at the end like our bodies do. And it's like, yeah, you may not want to sit here, but fucking get used to it, man. You're going to fall apart and die. That's just what we do. So that's beautiful. No Means No knows how to give it to you and be like, you don't have to fucking shake your ass. You just have to contend with reality, bitch. And that's old, man. You're going to get fucking old. Can I get some more
mashed potatoes, please?
Exactly. So I think it's both its best feature and its worst feature at the same time. Right. Michelle. Matthew, round 2.
Yeah. Representative, maybe Who Fucked Who, not typical. but representative thematically, I would say, but maybe not typical of a No Means No song. Doesn't really sound like one in a lot of ways. It is bluesy. I would say not important in like the whole body of work, but it should be.
It
It
should
isn't
be,
just
exactly.
it isn't just because people don't know it, because
That's right.
you know, that album is difficult to find, was not widely released, and was not released on vinyl, with making it pretty much impossible for a bunch of people who have
Oh
certain
wow, not on
predilections
vinyl.
these
I never
days.
thought about
Look at
that.
you, Alternative Tentacles. Come on, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's possible. I don't
I don't either.
know if
I
this
don't
is-
either. This was post that era, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think old, definitely it's important to their later body work for sure. And I do feel like the more that I think about it, that if they had played it, I don't think, you know, they would have needed to make it shorter. But I think that certain things would have happened to it, especially playing it live a whole bunch, where Tom would have really shone over time. And it's they're doing this podcast. There are certain points where really late and really kind of few and far between, where Tom was kind of making his talent known, or maybe being permitted to make his talent known, or maybe he just couldn't help it. But yeah, it's interesting to think about where it might have gone, and makes me sad.
Yeah.
But okay, in terms of would I introduce No Means No to a newbie? Old, no fucking way.
No way! Not a million years!
Yeah. And who fucked who? Maybe certain types of listeners. I think if you are really into punk, really into like hard rock, if you like Motorhead at all, then yeah, for sure. Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Michelle.
Is Who Fucked Who representative of the band? Okay, googly eyes. I wrote googly eyes, and I wrote, oh hell yes. One of the few times I've ever legally listened to the lyrics, and it's 1,000% filled with some of the best John and Rob can deliver. Land sakes. Old. This is representative of the band too, I think, especially of their later period, where the message is more of the substance for on behalf of the song. There's kind of sadness to it that I do kind of like, but it's also comforting in a way too. That's all I wrote. Is that
What
right?
what about newbie?
Would I play this for a newbie? Who fucked who? Yeah. Yes, I would. Yes. I haven't, but I should. Old? No, I would probably not.
Yeah. I think Who Fucked Who, to me, it is representative of them in the sense that it's a fine later example of their two-piece-ness, of when they're just settling back into the pocket of being a two-piece and showing everybody that we don't fucking need anything but bass and drums and lyrics.
Right,
That's it.
right.
And we can make it sound like fucking it'll fill 7 arenas and blow any other band out of the water with just the two of us. And you're not going to be like, where's the guitar? You'd be like, oh, fuck.
There's no guitar.
And the interplay between the two of them, the just fucking, anyway. So I think it is representative in a certain way. You're right, Matthew. It doesn't sound like a lot of their other songs, but there's something about it. It still feels very much representative of them. It should be more known. And I'm going to make this call out to all of you. If there, and I don't know that there are, but if there are any of you out there who have not spent the time to just really sit down and put this shit on at volume, at the highest volume you can. No, I'm not going twice.
No,
I was last in the order.
You didn't need to say that out loud.
Well, I just was wondering.
The fuck? I
Michelle's chatting. No. So I was last in the. No, I was last in the order. So I'm wrapping us up.
Okay.
So don't feel bad. She's just asking questions.
Strangely adeptly used Zoom, and
I just
Jordon
called her out on it.
Shat all over it.
Just shat all over it. She was trying to be. Trying to
impress the computer boys.
Yeah. No, I got to call it out.
Right, sorry,
no, but it's a good question. Because would I go twice sometimes? Yeah, probably. Because I'm deep into my fucking whiskey. So it is. I think it is very representative in that way. And if you haven't listened to it at the highest volume you possibly can, fucking do it now. Like after this podcast is over, go fucking listen to it like 6 times in a row. This song is incredible. It really, really, really deserves to be high on the list of any No Means No fans.
And I would say don't feel too shy about pirating it, downloading it, because you can't get it any other fucking
anywhere.
place.
Just do it. I mean, it's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. That's probably the only place you can find it right now, other than pirating it. Yep.
No shit.
Hit me up. I'll send you the shit. No doubt. Is old representative? Yes, I also think it is in a weird way, right? Like it's very thoughtful. It's very it's a tone song. It's Rob really marrying the way. It's another song where the meaning, what he's trying to convey, is really locked into the way it's performed, down to the length of it, down to the way it disintegrates for a whole minute into just silence of like entropic feedback. It's great in that. So it's very representative. It's not important. I mean, it's important in their later period. It is, but in terms of their entire oeuvre, I don't think it is. I think Who Fucked Who should be. It's not, to Matthew, to your point, but it should be. The song points like the energy that you can get from listening to this could help solve our dependence on fossil fuels, I think. So it should be important.
What's that song competition in the world right there? That should
Eurovision.
Be Canada's.
Yeah, Eurovision.
This should be Canada's.
No, it wouldn't be fair.
Song for
That's not fair to the rest of the world. That's not fair.
Because they'd win.
That's right. So newbies. Yeah. Actually, I would play Who Fucked Who for anybody. I think it is a hardcore song, but I think it's so good. Unless it was a kid and I played it to my kids, so who am I talking? But because it's so broadly like so much fuck in it, right? A lot.
People are weird about curse.
It is. So in that case, like I'd have to know the person, but this song,
eloquent English speaker.
That's true. This song is so upbeat. It is fast. It is hard, but it's so upbeat that I don't think it's off-putting. I would play the song for a lot of people. I think this song fucking pulls you in by the short hairs right away and does not let you go. So I would play the song for a wide raft of people and be pretty sure that they'd stop what they were doing and go like, shit.
Damn straight.
Old I would never play for anybody in a bazillion years. Like even if someone was into No Means No for a while, I'd let them find this one on their own and discover it as a gem of their own. I wouldn't say, hey, go listen to Old. I'd be like, let them find it and then make their own decision on it after they've matured their view on the band as a whole. And that's a great thing to discover and a wonderful gem, but I'm not going to have anybody listen to it except my father on his 70th birthday, who I did make listen to this as a punk because I wanted him to know how old he was. And so I made him listen to this song.
Okay.
So I was a troll, just like they were trolls. So yeah, that's it. Now it's time to vote. Matthew.
The vote. I wonder where this is going.
I think it's got to be Who Fucked Who.
Does it?
It
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Michelle, what about you? I mean,
I guess I'll go along with it. It kind of sucks, though. It's a lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to buck the trend, and I'm going to vote for Who Fucked Who.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is another unanimous episode. What the fuck are we doing here? We got to get controversial again.
We're getting down to it is what's happening.
I know.
It's going to be fights.
But come on, everybody. Ain't nobody going to fight us on that one, right? Please? There's no one can fight us on Who Fucked Who. And if you are, go listen to it again. You haven't listened to it enough. That's my feeling.
How do you not like that song?
Well,
you can't not like it.
We did it. We're an hour and a half in, actually a little bit more when you consider the fact that I played the entirety of Old for you. So we're probably like an hour and 50 minutes in. Victory pulled out round one over Land of the Living. So Land of the Living is now 6 feet under the ground. Who Fucked Who lives on to fuck another day. And Old, unfortunately, has gotten sold. It's died and been buried along with the Land of the Living in the graveyard. And we're happy to take both of those songs into our next round. No Means No Thing is produced and edited by yours truly, Jordan Flato. Co-hosting and podcast graphics, excellent fucking graphics, are by Matthew Kowalik. Michelle Stranges is our third and everyone's favorite co-host,
especially Teddy's.
Including Teddy and, of course, Mr. Kerr. And she's our official Foley artist.
Right.
Shout out to our official mascot, Teddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, as always, to No Means No for the use of stock taking as our intro and outro music. Everyone's got a hole. Everyone's got stiff little fingers.
Can't end the podcast without a whole lot of Milka.
What the fuck? What the fuck? All right, here we are. Everyone's.
I said
part.
Milka. I meant Milkis. But yeah, anyway.
I like the springer.
Milka.
I like the moona and the Juna and the spring.
Milka.
All right, I like the
Nope.
singer, not the springer.
I clearly didn't. Oh!
Oh, are you spinning the wheel?
Spinning the wheel. Shit.
Wheel.
Oh. So here's something I'm going to spring on you guys.
Uh-oh.
There were a couple of songs that Parker, because I want to bring him on the podcast. We've talked about this before as a guest
You did
host.
say that, yeah.
And there's a couple of songs that he said, when this song comes up, I want to be on the podcast.
Bring him in.
2 of those songs have
Oh.
just come up against each other.
Oh, so we get one episode. Oh.
So that's that round. It's going to be fucking fun. Oh, I clearly did not kick out one of the songs from today, which is a bummer because it would have been a great. Nope, can't do that either. Fucking A. God damn it.
Hey, what's happening? Are you forgetting to take stuff out?
No, I'm not. It's that the same ones from round 1 keep coming up again. Okay, here we go. We have not done
Yeah,
either of
like,
these.
Oh No Bruno, that needs to come back.
There
I
we go.
said it.
There's the second round.
Oh.
This is gonna be a good fucking episode, folks. Let me just say.
Hey, can we
there's
swear in front of
Oh,
Parker?
but you can say whatever the fuck you want. He's 19 years
Jesus,
old.
19.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, you can
I'm
cuss
trying
up
to
a storm.
respect a man's child.
No, this guy cusses
Is
a
he
lot.
a child?
He's not a child. He's a man.
Trying to just respect the man's young man.
No, just say whatever you want. Yeah, he'll probably talk circles around all of us, but that's good.
Swear in front of more kids, people.
Please do. All right, everybody. So we've got the next one. I don't know when it's going to come. Maybe sooner than this one. I hope. We'll have to see.
Right.
Anyway, I just want to go ahead and let you all know that you can all just fuck off.
Fuck off.